Hello, my friends. This episode goes out to my procrastinators who wait to the last minute, the dreamers with a head in the clouds, and my longtime planners that are list makers and note takers. Today, we're talking about creating vision, and I am going to share with you how I create my own vision each and every year. And I'd like to dedicate this episode to all of the well intentioned naysayers in my life. I love you. Thank you so much for wanting to believe in me and for caring enough to speak up and loving me even when you thought that I have lost my marbles. I love you too, and I hope that one day you will find a bit of the sparkle that I see in my life each and every day. Welcome to the Solo Grind, where we shine a light on the raw and real journey of being a solo entrepreneur. I am Teresa, your guide on this adventure of going it alone, without a safety net and without the rule book. The grind is real, my friend, and so are the wins, the freedom, and the joy of building success on your own terms. I'm here to debunk the myths, share some laughs, and share what it takes to thrive as a go-getter, busy, doing it all entrepreneur. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Solo Grind. And this is actually going to be the final episode in season one. I'm sticking to my promise. I'm coming back for a season two, but this is going to be the final episode for 2024. And I gotta be honest, I was struggling a little bit with this decision. I have so many ideas, so much that I want to share. When I started doing this podcast, I didn't know that I would have that much to share. And somewhere along the lines, the floodgates opened up. And my friend, I have a lot of ideas. And I really wanted to just keep pushing through, delivering weekly, and showing up until the very last second of 2024. But I also decided that I want to do it right and I want to do it well and I want to do it with excellence. And with the holidays coming up and a little quick little trip down to see my mom and pops and just some other things that are going on, I just don't know that I can promise excellence. And that is something that is very important to me, especially when it comes to connecting with you each and every week. So here is the lineup for the solo grind. This today is December 17th. And next week at this time, it'll be Christmas Eve and then New Year's Eve. And so I'm not going to be showing up for the next 2 weeks, but I will be back on January 7th, where we are going to be launching season two of the Solo Grind. And I promise you, I have some really amazing, fun things planned for you during that time. So, with that being said, I wanted to finish off this year and talk about creating your vision. Now, creating your vision is something that I love to do. And I mean, love, love, love. This is something that I have been very, very intentional at doing myself for probably 20 years. And I'm not even exaggerating. And the reason that I'm so focused and so intentional on it is because I know deep down in my heart and soul that we have the power to create the life that we want. Now, yes, outside forces are going to pop in. Yes, people are going to try and inflict their crazy, their agenda, their whatever into our lives. But how we show up in our life is what truly matters the most. And showing up with thought and intention and focus is how we craft our dream life. So today I thought that I would share how I do that. And I actually have a couple tools that I have learned over the years, that I have developed over the years, or just copied and created my own version of it that I'm going to be sharing with you in this episode here. And it's three things that I do to create my vision for the new year. And I know my planners out there are probably thinking, Teresa, where have you been? We are 2 weeks from the new year. Shouldn't you have a vision already? And yes, I kind of do, but I definitely fall into the procrastinator section and I typically do things last minute. The fact that I pre-recorded episodes for this season so that they could be out there and done with excellence is a miracle to me because I am a last minute planner. So, with that being said, let's dive into this week's topic. But before I do, I want to do something that my good friend Emily has reminded me, and that is to tell you a little bit about me because I know not everyone tuning in is been with me from the beginning, and you may not who know who I am and what I do. So, for those of you who have joined me in the past, welcome back. Grab a cup of coffee and come back here in just a few seconds because I'm going to introduce myself to the newbies of the Solo Grind. My name is Teresa Shaloop, and I am the host of the Solo Grind. I am also a brand strategist, web designer, and digital marketer. And I have coined myself the OG or the original caffeine creative because I am all about creating a brand, a life, a business, a vision that is 100% you. And I do that fueled by caffeine most of the time. So, if you're ever interested in finding out more about me, what I can do, or maybe if you would just think you want to work with me, all of my contact information is in the show notes. You can email me, you can reach out and do a consult with me. You can follow me on social media, send me a message. I'll admit I'm not the best at checking my messages on social media, but I will get to it at some point. And I would love to connect with you. And if you're interested in a website and want to know more about how to do that, I'd love to do that as well. Now that you know who I am and what I do and what I bring to the world to make my corner of the world a better place, let's dive into today's topic about creating vision. And as I said in the beginning, I am going to be sharing with you 3 ways that I create my vision each and every year. And I stay pretty focused on these throughout the year. But before I share that, I wanted to start off with a little bit of a story. Way back when I was growing up in the southeast coast of Texas, along the Gulf of Mexico, I had this crazy belief in the world that anything, absolutely anything was possible. No matter what I dreamed up, I could make it happen as long as I was willing to put in the work to do so. It didn't matter what it was. I believed it was possible. And I actually remember saying to people back then, when I still had this open mind that anything was possible, that of course I can achieve what I want because I said I would. Like, I never doubted that I could achieve what I dreamed. And that was just where I was. But being that way as a young child, you can imagine the well intentioned naysayers always had something to say to counteract this. I was accused of having my head in the clouds, and it honestly, I really did because I didn't see the world through limitations or things that were unavailable. I saw the world as possibilities, as opportunities, as things to do, to learn, to try, to say. And I don't have to tell you, a lot of people are not that way. They see the world through fearful eyes. They see the world with limitations. They see the world as a struggle or as something that happens to us and not a life that we get to choose how we live. So these well intentioned naysayers came through and were quick to tell me that no, you can't do what you want. It's good to think, it's a nice thought, but what about this limitation and that limitation? What about if this happens or that happens? They were always quick to tell me reasons why my dreams could not come true. And as much as I hate to admit it, there was a point in time where I started to believe them. And I started to see the world with blinders on and only see obstacles and limitations before me. And it was not a fun place to be. Instead of creating the life that I wanted, I was responding to life happening to me, feeling that I had no choice. Thankfully, my sunny optimism won out in the end, and I truly am living my dream life. And every day I am shaping that dream to be the next level of what I am looking for in this life. So, with that being said, I wanted to share with you how this transformation happened because I can assure you it did not happen overnight. It was a lot of work and a lot of intention and a lot of focus that helped me begin creating this dream life. And over the years, I've done a lot of things from vision boards to journaling, The Artist Way. If you haven't checked out that book, it's a fabulous book. Just so many things that I can't even remember to help me shape the vision and the dream of what I am, of living the life I want to live. And today I'm going to share with you my three top ways of crafting, creating, drafting, envisioning my dream life. All right. So, number one, the first one that I did, and this one I'm going to attribute to my friend Susie, who taught me how to do this quite a while ago. And that is simply to create a miracle box. Now, a miracle box can be anything you want it to be, and it can contain anything you want it to contain. The key is that you utilize this, for me at least, I utilize this for dreaming. This is where my biggest, boldest, sometimes scariest dreams go, is in my miracle box. And it's a pretty simple concept. First, you find a box. This can be a cardboard box, it could be a gift box, it could be a beautiful carved wood box. It can be anything you want it to be. I recommend finding something that you don't mind having on a shelf and looking at for a whole year because you are going to be looking at it for an entire year if you do things the way that I suggest. But again, it can be anything. My first miracle box was this lime green snowflake material covered cardboard box that I tied up with a purple ribbon. I'm going to post a picture in this month's in the blog that goes along in my show notes. I'll post a picture of this in the show notes on my website. Not the prettiest box, but it made me happy because it was a very happy color. So you choose your box and then you get paper. This could be post-it notes, it could be pretty paper that you cut out, it could be scraps of napkin. It doesn't matter. This is your miracle box. You get to create what you want with it. And on these slips of paper, you want them to be small slips of paper. Start writing out the miracles that you want to achieve. Okay. And these are the things that you are dreaming about in life. My miracles have been anything from creating and structuring the perfect day to traveling abroad for free to being cured 100% of cancer. It's anything and everything that you dream about, the things that tickle the back of your mind that you don't often stop to look for, to do, to create, to focus on. Any dream you want, a new car, a new cat, as you can hear, maybe mine is purring in the microphone right now, anything you want. You write each little miracle that you want to bring into your life on a slip of paper. And I like to write it in the affirmative, as in it's already come true. So, for example, I pulled out some of my old miracles. Oh, this is a good one. So I wrote this down. This one is probably a couple years old, and it says, I am 100% living my life for me. Being a mom, being a caregiver, being, a busy doing it all entrepreneur. I often live my life for all the people around me, and I give away my time freely in the past until I created some pretty solid boundaries to make sure that I'm living my life 100% for me. And that was one of my miracles in my miracle box a few years ago. And it's true. It is something that I do. And here's the cool thing I want to just say as a side note to that little miracle is that while I'm living 100% for myself, I'm not living by myself. I have a circle of amazing people, from my husband to my kids to my good friends and colleagues, my family around me. Like, I've got an amazing circle, and they are all still part of my life. even though I'm living 100% for me. So, back to the miracle box. We have our things. We're writing out our little miracles. We're writing out our wishes almost on these slips of paper. And I like to roll mine up as little scrolls. I know it's silly, but it's an intentional thing. Like I love the pretty paper and the scrolls and things like that. And I toss them into my miracle box. Once I have all of my miracles that I can think of for the year written out, I close up the box and I put it on a bookshelf in my office. So this could be anywhere. It's been in my bedroom, it's been in my living room, it's been actually in my dining room, even or kitchen. It's wherever you want to put it. But I put it on a bookshelf for a year. And every time I see it, I just think with gratitude, oh, yes, there are my little miracles coming true. I am so grateful to live a life where my miracles are coming true. And that's it. Now, I do have a big ceremony at the end, towards the end of the year, where I open my miracle box and I take a look and see what has come to pass. And so typically I do this the weekend of Thanksgiving because that is a weekend that's so full of gratitude anyway. And it just seems like a great way to finish off November, the month of gratitude, the holiday of gratitude, and to really just tune into being grateful for the little miracles that have happened along the way. I get my Christmas tree up, I make some coffee with peppermint and mocha. I curl up in front of my Christmas tree and I open my miracle box and I start looking at every slip of paper and all the amazing things that have come true. Now, I have to admit, this moment for me can be quite emotional looking through those miracles because there have been things in there that are really quite personal that I never thought would come true. I have through this miracle box, I have recognized and acknowledged broken relationships that have mended and my cancer being cured and dreams that I never thought possible coming true. So it's kind of an emotional thing. So for me, it's a very private thing that I don't really share with anybody outside of my daughter. Her and I used to do our miracle boxes together when she lived at home. But it is so powerful to sit down and recognize all the amazing things that have come to be over the past year. And not everything happens. I will say that some miracles don't happen that I write and put in my little box, they don't happen. And I want to talk about that just for a moment because there's two reasons why they didn't happen. One, they really weren't that important to me. There have been times that I wrote stuff down that I thought I wanted that honestly wasn't all that big of a deal. And that's okay. That in itself is a miracle that it didn't come to be because it wasn't meant to be. The other thing is sometimes it just hasn't happened yet. Whatever the timing, whatever the case, maybe my mindset isn't quite there to receive it. Maybe there's another reason. Whatever the case, it just hasn't happened yet, but it will. And I believe that it will. And I know that life is bringing me what I want it to bring. So, that, my friend, is the Miracle Box. And again, if you go to my website to check out my detailed show notes, I am going to go into more detail about a Miracle Box and what you can do if you want to create your own, because they honestly are a whole lot of fun. My old mastermind group and I did this together for a couple years in a row, and it's just became a really treasured part of my year and my intention setting for the new year. All right, so now we have the miracle box. Let's move on to the next way, the next thing that I do to create my vision. And this actually came from my mastermind group. Now, this comes from a video, which I will share in the main show notes here, that our friend, my good friend Darla, shared with us in our mastermind group a few years back. And it is a video that Steve Harvey created talking about your 300 list. In his video, Steve Harvey tells us two things that we can do right now, today, that will completely change our entire life. And I honestly am a living testament to this, and I believe it. And this doesn't require money. It doesn't require you to even leave your house. You don't have to do or spend anything that is crazy or outrageous. You simply have to do these two things. First of all, you have to recognize that you don't have what you have because you have not asked for it. What you want in this world is available to you. This world is abundant. This world is full of everything that we could ever need in our lives that we truly want. All we have to do is ask for it. And the second thing that he wants us to do is to write out what we want and make it plain. Write down the things that we want in our lives, whether it is to have a profitable business, to launch a podcast, to buy the dream house that we're imagining, to simply having a day that fulfills our soul bank. Whatever it is that we want, ask for it, acknowledge it, write it down, and things are going to start to unfold for us. And in this video, Steve Harvey gives us a challenge to write down 300 things that we would like to have in our lives. Okay. And I'll be honest with you, it sounds a lot easier than it is. Most people, as they start writing it down, once they get past 25, even some even, get a little bit further, but long before they hit 100, they stop because they don't know what else to ask for. And there's reasons why we stop. We feel greedy. We feel guilty. We just don't know what we want. And because we've not stopped to really ask ourselves, what do I want in life? And we stop. But when you do this, when you push through that barrier, when you push through and say, I'm not greedy, it's okay to ask for what I want in this life. And we continue writing our list, magical things happen. And I I just this is something that I think I've done for 5 years. Every couple years I actually will start a new list. I don't know that my any of my lists have ever gotten to 300. Combined, I've gotten over 300, but it's taken me years to get here. But what I love about this exercise is that it keeps me focused on what I am creating in this world. And there's more than just writing out what you want. There's also intention. So, reading that list. Now, he recommends reading it every morning and night. And I'll admit, I am not the best at that. But I do read my 300 list, especially when life is not going the way that I want it to, when life is happening to me again rather than me intentionally living it. I look at my 300 list, I add things to it, I focus on it. And every single time I do this, my life shifts for the better. And all it takes is a little time and the courage to ask for what we want. So, with that, I'm going to again post Steve Harvey's link to his video. And if I forget to post a link, just Google Write Your Vision or Steve Harvey's 300 list, and you're going to come up with the video. It is absolutely incredible. It is worth watching. It is worth watching over and over again. It is worth sharing with the people you love because this is an exercise that truly has changed my life in the most amazing ways. And I am so grateful to our friend Darla for sharing this with us a couple years in our mastermind group. Okay. Now, we've talked about the Miracle Box, and this is where I do my dreaming every year. We've talked about the 300 list, and this is where I do a more focused, consistent intention in what I want my life to look at. And the last thing is all mine. And this is something in my office that I've started doing, and that is writing my universe to-do list. And this is something that's a little bit more on the woo-woo side of things. In fact, this is something that my naysayers really tend to scoff at because they don't get it and they don't understand. But as I said in my introduction to this episode, I love my naysayers for caring enough to speak up, and I'm dedicating this segment specifically to you. So the universe to-do list is pretty simple. I have a whiteboard in my office and I write on one side, I write I will dot dot dot. And then on the other side of that whiteboard, I write the universe will dot dot dot. And then I write the things that I am in control of, the things that I will do to live my best life. So things like taking care of me, giving appropriate focus to my health, like living a healthy life. That doesn't mean becoming obsessed and constantly looking in WebMD to see what's going on in my life. And also doesn't mean ignoring things that are happening that need to be addressed. It means giving an appropriate focus to my health. Embracing joy. That is something that I can do. Yesterday was one hellacious day in my world. And yet at the end of that day, I still embraced joy because it's so important to do so. So embracing joy is something that I can control and something that I can do. I will love my clients well. I will love my audience well. I will love the people in my life well. I have control of that and I can do that. And I'm going to be excellent. As I said at the beginning, I'm ending this podcast season 1 with this episode because I want to show up with excellence and I will deliver that no matter what. And I need to set myself up for success by allowing time for excellence. Those are things that I can do, that I can control. Everything else out there that depends on somebody else is up to the universe to take care of. So things that I put on my universe to-do list is a clear and easy path ahead. I'm like, hey, I want to move forward in these areas of my life. I'm asking you to clear an easy path ahead for me. My husband thinks I'm silly when I do this, and that's okay. It works for me, and so I keep doing it. I ask the universe to open doors to fabulous new opportunities. I'm always looking for new opportunities to grow, to change, to challenge myself, to learn something new about the world, and the universe helps open those doors for me. I want my abundance to be supported in every possible way. And that doesn't just mean abundance in money, that's abundance in good friendships, abundance in time with my kids who are now grown up and living their own lives, abundance with these adorable little kitties that are crawling around at my feet right now, abundance of love. I mean, like whatever that abundance is that I need to fill my soul bank, my money bank, my health bank, I'm asking the universe to provide that to me. So, that's really all it is the universe to-do list. That's all I do. On this whiteboard, I write down the things that I want, that I cannot control, that I want the world to bring to me. And it really helps me shape my mindset so that I am focused on creating the life that I want and not focused on the life that is happening around me that can quickly derail me from the success that I want to achieve. All right, my friend, that is it for season 1 of the Solo Grind. I feel like I should have like some party popper or emojis or something happening here. I don't know. Champagne popping, something happening, but we'll just go with a great big heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you who have listened to me this season and tuned in. To those of you reaching out and connecting with me, thank you so much. Your words mean more to me than anything else that I can imagine. And I'm going to just take this opportunity to wish you an amazing holiday season, whatever holidays you are celebrating right now, and a very, very happy start to the 2025 new year. Can you believe it? 2025, we are here. I cannot wait to join you in 2025 and to create the most amazing year of our lives ahead because, after all, each year is just getting better and better for me, and I know it can for you as well. Thanks for tuning in to the Solo Grind. I hope this episode brought you some inspiration and encouragement. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, rate, and review the podcast, and feel free to share. For more tips and insights, visit caffeinecreative.io to check out my blog or explore the Creative Vault, my free course library. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram. I'd love to hear how this episode has helped you.